Right, everybody, what's up? Michael Edward here, head trader at True Trading Group. It's April 24th. I'm going to knock your socks off with this video. Get ready, get out some paper, get out some pen. I'm going to go over so many trading lessons with you guys in this one video. It's ridiculous. An absolute monster day to finish out the week. I went 4 for 5 today. Short Boeing, short Zoom, long MBOT twice. Those were my 4 wins. I lost money on CHK. I'm going to go over all of these trades with you, and I can't even count how many trading lessons that there actually are. So if you guys were ever excited for a video, it's this one. I'm going to give you guys a much more in-depth view on all of the trading courses that are on our website. Okay, so all of the courses on our website, that's all the material I learned when I worked at the hedge fund. I give you guys like a tip of the iceberg of it on these YouTube videos, but this video is going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to dive in because this was a huge day, and I want to go over all of these trades with you. There's a lot of technical lessons, there's mental lessons, there's fundamental analysis lessons. There's so much jam-packed in this video. I've also got a piece of a position that I'm still holding over the weekend into Monday that I'm going to share with you and we're going to talk about. Let's go through the trades one by one, starting with my very first trade of the day, which was short Boeing. Okay, let's go over to Boeing. We're going to talk about short Boeing. Okay. First off, let's go to the daily chart. First thing that we notice here is what, guys? Big bear flag pattern. There's your flagpole. There's your flag. Okay, so a big bear flag pattern here on Boeing, and Boeing was weak today because they had a little bit of a news announcement. The approval of their 737 MAX is delayed due to the virus. That's not good. And they're also cutting production of their Dreamliner and reducing their workforce. So a slew of negative headlines coming out of Boeing today that created this weakness and added to this weakness. Boeing is already a relatively weak stock. When you look at Boeing's daily chart compared to the SPY daily chart, night and day. So you look at the bounce the overall market has had since the crash, and then you look at Boeing. Already talking about a weak stock in the broader markets. So when we're talking about a weak stock that has been relatively weak, then they have negative news, then they have a bearish chart pattern. All those stars start to align for this trade. Then I want to take you guys to the 15-minute chart. And what I would like to point out to you is this 134 area. Okay, I want to point out this 134 area to you. See this prior support all the way back here? And you can see that support was also kind of showed its face right here. This little support level even goes back all the way to here. And then you can go back even further where it was actually an area of resistance. Okay, this was a key area for Boeing, this 134 area. Okay, right off the bell, we dropped right through it. Back to the 3-minute chart, you can see, let me zoom in so you guys can see more closely. We dropped right to it, right through, bang. But the first thing that we notice as I zoom in is look at the trade line. This teal line on my screen, this is the 9 exponential moving average. Right off the bell starts to act as an area of resistance. So I already have proof that this trade line is resistance. Pushes us right down through that 134 support area. But notice the volume. Look how heavy that volume was on that sell-off. All of the stars are starting to align for this trade. And I say, guys, we just broke below that 134 support level. I'm looking for a bounce back to 134 to enter that trade short. Let me now also draw out for you at the time my Fibonacci retracement levels. Now what we start to see here is the trade line and VWAP line up here at the 38.2 Fibonacci level. That could create some overhead resistance for me, as well as this 134 area. So I'm thinking, okay, that if we get below 134, which we did, that it should now, remember, this was that support level, that it should now act as an area of resistance. So as I zoom this in, On this bounce back right there, right into the face of that bounce back is where I went ahead and I got short Boeing. Okay. I want to take you guys over to my trade announcements. We were very active today, guys. This is the downloaded report from our trading software in chat where it lists all of our trade alerts. Okay, so I just download it every day. You can see here at 9:54 a.m. that I got short Boeing at 133.98. My stop loss 135. I'm risking $1 a share. But why 135? Because that's the trade line in VWAP, and the trade line already showed me it was resistance. And at the time, it was also the 38.2 Fibonacci level. So that's why that's my stop loss. And I'm looking now for us to roll over. We got a trade line VWAP crossover. Okay. And then the trade line acts as resistance once again right there. So there's resistance trade line, resistance trade line, resistance trade line, and then we rolled this thing over. I take 25% of my position off the table right in front of the low of the day, as I usually do. Back to my alerts, you can see took some profit, covered Boeing at 132.49. Then we dropped through the low of the day, and I took the bulk of my position off the table in Boeing right there at 131.62. And then what you start to see happen is that prior low, we broke it to the downside, and look what happened when we broke that low. Increase in volume. So now I'm looking for that prior low to become resistance. But look what else comes into play. The trade line. This 9 exponential moving average that you guys see was resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, now acting as resistance again, in addition to this prior low. And then we got this beautiful rollover. And I took my final piece of profit off the table right there at 130.19. Here you guys can see right here at 11:12 a.m. Final take profit covered Boeing at 130.19. And that's a real nice solid trade. Okay, about $4 a share on my final take profit. I was only risking $1. So 4R on that final take profit. I'll take that all day long, guys. We ended up going even much lower, down to almost 128. And I think Boeing is going to drift a little bit lower over the coming days. I think we could see Boeing get down towards that 100 area. And I do like it in that area for a long-term portfolio add. I've already added to Boeing in my long-term portfolio at 106.34. And if it gets back to 100, I'll probably add more. Okay, so that was the Boeing trade. My second trade of the day was the loser. That was CHK. Guys, I'm going through all these trades. I'm telling you, you're going to want to stick around for all these trades. You're not going to want to exit this video. If the kids are screaming, if someone's bothering you, if your phone's ringing, or if the TV's on, or you're on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, get rid of it, because none of that stuff is going to make you money. The lessons I'm going to cover in these videos with you are straight from the courses that are on the website, and this stuff can make you money and make you a better trader. So pay attention, listen up, take some notes, okay? CHK, this was a losing trade. Now, CHK is a recent reverse split. They did a 1 for 200, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But there's a large short position on this thing. There's large short positions on all of these real small oil companies. And we were halted to the downside right there. And then we took it back. So when we took this back, I was thinking to myself that maybe we're going to get a short squeeze here. We had a trade line VWAP cross that took place right here, pushed us up through the high of the day. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to get long in front of this trade line. Okay, I'm going to get long in front of this trade line and see if we're going to put in almost a little bit of a TGG triangle pattern. Okay, where I was going to look for that previous high of the day to line up with the trade line. Here's your lower highs. And I was going to look for CHK to break up and out of this flag and actually give me a little bit of a short squeeze type of play. Oil stocks have been on fire lately these last couple of days. So that's what I was looking for there. But you can see we never broke out of that triangle pattern. We broke it down, got below VWAP, and I exited that position right there. Let me take you guys to my announcements. You can see here that I got long CHK at 38.76, and then I sold out at 36.72. Okay, long at 38.76, sold out at 36.72. That was my losing trade on the day. Now we go over to MBOT. Now it's just all winners from here on out, guys. MBOT. This is a very important technical lesson, okay? Technical lesson here on MBOT. We're going to talk about a chart setup. We're going to talk about indicators. We're going to talk about adding to your position and how to adjust your stop loss once you add to your position. A very important thing that a lot of traders don't do properly. Here we have MBOT breaks through the high of the day. Okay, breaks through the high of the day. There's your previous high of the day. We break through it with the heaviest volume of the day. Now, I do not like the time of day. It was like 11:30, 11:45. We're about to enter lunchtime. I'm very cautious of stocks that break out during lunchtime because I don't trust lunchtime breakouts. They tend to fail more often than they give you follow through. The reason for that is because volume is typically lighter during lunchtime. And in order for a stock to give you follow through on a breakout, it needs increasing, steady, strong volume, which is hard to come by during lunch. So if you get a breakout during lunch, that's the heaviest volume of the day. Well, then that removes that concern. Now you can have a pretty good setup on your hands. That's exactly what we saw in MBOT. So when MBOT broke through the high of the day there on that volume, it got my attention. Okay. Then I drew my Fibonacci retracement level. And what I start to notice is that the 23.6 Fibonacci level lines up dead even with that previous high of the day. What else do we see there? The trade line. So you get that first little area of support, and then you can see a nice little TTG triangle pattern starts to form. And there's one more support level test for good measure. And right there is where I got long MBOT, tier one. Tier one is 25% of my position size. Why? So if I want to buy, let's say 10,000 shares, I'm going to buy tier one would be 2,500. Now, in this situation, the reason why I'm entering tier one, two reasons. First, my stop loss is all the way down here at VWAP and the 38.2 Fibonacci level. Okay. It's also because of the time of day. It's 11:45 a.m. We're about to enter lunchtime. I want to be cautious of a failed lunchtime breakout. So I'm going to sit in tier one, small size, right? 25% of my desired size. If you wanted to buy 1,000 shares, tier one would be 250. Okay. I'll take you guys back to my announcements. You guys can see here at 11:38 a.m. Long tier one MBOT at 866, stop loss 810 area. That was VWAP saying I'm going to add tier two through 885. Okay. Surely enough, we break up and out of that downtrend line, and I add tier two right there as we break out of that downtrend line. Back to my announcements. You can see here at 11:40, 2 minutes later, added tier two MBOT at 889, stop loss 860. This is where I want to talk to you guys. When you are adding to your position, you should be able to move your stop loss up. I want you guys to use a different stop loss on that second tier than the initial stop loss. The reason why you are entering tier two at this moment is because something has changed. The reason why you entered tier one, okay, is confirmed. You thought you saw a TTG triangle, it breaks out of that pattern, you add to the position. Once you add, you should be able at that point to move your stop loss up. If not on your whole position, at least on the tier two. I don't want you guys adding to your position and still holding on to that original stop loss. Okay, that's why in my trade alert, you can see stop loss is now 860. I moved my stop loss up, in this case, 50 cents. I went from the 38.2 Fibonacci and VWAP area. Now that we broke out of that triangle pattern, well, I'm saying we should not get back below that triangle. And if we do get inside the triangle, okay, then I will exit this trade because the pattern I'm looking for is not in play. Okay, so that's something that you can think about when you guys are adding to your positions. Okay, nonetheless, I added to the position right there, like I said, and the first take profit came off the table right at the high of the day. Back to the alerts. Okay, at 11:41 a.m., I took some profit off MBOT at 9:05. Okay, playing it safe. Again, it's lunchtime breakout, so I want to make sure I don't get caught in a double top. And then we broke through the high and extended, and I took the bulk of my position off the table. Right up here, you guys can see at $9.42. Okay, $9.42. And as we pan this over, I held on to 25% because now what I'm looking for is, now this is the previous high. Now I'm looking for it to become support. Here comes the trade line. And now I'm looking for a continuation. I'm holding on to 25% of my size, but we never got that follow through. We just kind of pulled it back in. And once we pulled it back in, that's when I went ahead, guys, and I got flat my position right there. Back to my announcements. You guys can see here, final take profit at 895. Okay. So again, tier one, tier two, first take profit, second take profit, final take profit. All right. And then I went after and I traded MBOT a second time. Let's talk about the MBOT, the second MBOT trade, and then I'm going to get into my Zoom short. My Zoom short's a monster, and it's all because of a fundamental catalyst, and I'll share that with you guys in a moment. But now what I want to start to bring to your attention is the afternoon setup on MBOT. This is an elongated TTD triangle pattern. What you guys would learn in the courses is with the TTD triangle setup, there's two different types of setups, a morning setup and an afternoon setup. This is a picture perfect afternoon setup. There's two TTD triangles all within MBOT. The first one that I traded was a TTD triangle. It was a morning setup. The second trade I'd made in MBOT was a TTD triangle. It was an afternoon setup. So both types of TTD triangles were behind both of these moves in MBOT. So what we see here is prior high. We pull this back. We hold support. Fibonacci levels. Okay. Fibonacci levels. Let me fix this. Okay, here we are. Fibonacci levels line up 50 Fibonacci level, prior high, we hold support. Okay. What happens here is this nice elongated TTG triangle setup. Okay, there it is. Coming now, when you are looking for stocks for potential afternoon moves, I spend the lunch hour session, which is typically between 12 and 2, scanning for potential stocks that have potential for afternoon moves. The number one stock type of stock you're going to want to go after are a stock that was strong in the morning that made multiple new highs. Okay, multiple new highs. Then you look for the stock to hold above a key support level all throughout lunchtime. If a support level is going to break, it will usually do it during lunchtime when volume is lighter. If the stock holds a key support level all throughout lunch, and then the afternoon session comes on, well, that's typically when volume comes back into the stock. And if it's still above that support level, that's when you can get the afternoon squeeze. So coming into this trade, I'm saying, guys, we're still in this pattern. If we break up and out of this downtrend line, I'm going to look to get long. That's exactly what happened. We popped our head right above that trend line, and I got long right there on MBOT. Back to my announcements. Where are we? Here we go. At 2:57 p.m., long MBOT at 9:24. Okay, long MBOT at 9:24, right there. Stop loss was right there at VWAP. All right. We squeeze, we make our move right up to the high of the day. As always, 25% comes off in front of the high. Back to the alerts, took some profit at 980. We break through the high and extend. Bang. Bulk of the position comes off the table right there at 1050. 1050. And then again, I held on to 25% of my position because I'm looking for now this prior high. Okay, now I'm looking for this prior high to become support and see if we get some follow through. And we did. Rolled it over and I got flat right there at 970. Back to the announcements. You can see here, final take profit MBOT at 970. Okay, so again, here's your entry. First take, second take, third take. Again, nice, solid trade on MBOT. Okay, now the big one, Zoom. Okay, Zoom. Zoom video has been out of control. ever since the coronavirus and the work from home orders, they've, you know, they went from what, like 3 million or 30 million users up to 300 million users or something like that, something crazy. The stock's been going nuts. Now, my opinion, Zoom is extremely overvalued up here at 175, $180 a share. Um, I think it's very overvalued. And then we've been talking about, this stock needing to cool off a little bit. And then we got news today. Okay. Um, and right out of nowhere, we had this huge drop in Zoom, super high volume, very aggressive sell off. I didn't know as soon as it happened, obviously I don't know what took place yet, but we call out the move in chat. Guys, Zoom, something's up, something's up. Everybody starts to scan their newswire services, looking to see, what's the news, what's the news. One of our members actually got the news first and said that it was Facebook announcing a competing software for the video messaging that you can have like up to 50 people in a room, which directly competes with Zoom. So immediately I think of, this is the Netflix weakness all over again. If you guys remember, Netflix, go to the daily chart on Netflix, when all of the Disney Plus and all those other streaming services, okay, started to make their announcements. Remember how everybody hated Netflix? Netflix was a dog. They're like, oh, it's going to lose market share, all this increased competition. Now, meanwhile, Netflix goes on all the way up here to make new all-time highs. Okay, so joke's on everybody else. But I'm saying that this increase in competition now for Zoom, I'm saying this is the absolute perfect opportunity for people to take profits off in Zoom. And I think that this is going to cause a drastic pullback now that Facebook, of all companies, Facebook, it's not some small startup company, it's Facebook coming out with a program that directly competes with Zoom. I said, I think this thing is going to sell off. As soon as I got that news, this is a trade that's based off of a fundamental analysis more so than it is technical. It's not that the chart pattern was screaming short. This is something that, knowing what's been going on with Zoom, why Zoom stock has been going crazy, and then getting the news that Facebook is coming out with a competing software, thinking to myself, this is the perfect opportunity to cause profit taking in Zoom. It's extremely overvalued. It's trading ridiculous times earnings. It's like not even, it's just, it's insane. Okay. How fast this company's market cap has grown, and it's gotten ahead of itself. So I'm saying this is the perfect time for people to be realistic, logical, take profits. So I went ahead and I got short right there at 174.41. I'll take you guys back to my announcements. You can see here at 2:17 p.m. I'm short ZM at 174.41, stop loss 177, because that was right around VWAP. So I'm saying, okay, if we get back above VWAP, I'll cut this loose. And it was just like a quick little sell off on that news headline, and the market just buys it right back up. So if we get back above VWAP, I'm going to cut it loose. So I enter the trade right there. Let me zoom this in a little bit. Okay. I enter the trade right here. Then we flushed right through the low of the day. We went down and tested the prior day's close, and I took 25% of my position off the table right there. Back to the announcements. Took some profit at 169.01. Still holding some. Then I want you to notice this strong bounce. Look at this big, strong tail that got put in here on massive volume. You see this volume bar right here. That's a significant bounce off that prior day's low. And I'm saying to myself now, guys, that's a very aggressive bounce. I'm now looking for an equally as aggressive rejection at the prior low of the day. We bounce back up, bang. Look at that resistance, and then we got stuffed. We had this big red candle that took back this entire bounce. As soon as I saw that, that was the indication that the selling pressure is on. Sell programs have kicked on. There's continued profit taking, continued selling pressure coming into the stock. This is not an example where, like Gilead, for example, the other day, when that news broke about remdesivir, sell programs kicked on just off of the headline, which was that the drug flopped, sell off. But then once people got the full report and realized that it wasn't that the drug failed the trial, but rather the trial was terminated early because of lack of patients that participated in the trial, they weren't able to fill up the trial, they terminated it. Then human traders and logic step in, start to adjust, and then the stock gets bought back up. That's not what took place in Zoom. And that rejection at that prior low told me we're going to now get extended downside because profit taking is on now. Sell programs are on, and we should get follow through. That's exactly what we got. Okay, that is exactly what we got. As you can see, we extended lower. I took a piece of profit, the bulk of my position, I took off right there. Back to the announcements at 163.87. I covered the bulk of my position, and I'm now still short 25% of my position. Okay, we're trading here now at 159. Okay, we are back here to 159. I'm short from 174.41. I'm looking for a move. I was looking for a move right down to here to 154. That's exactly where we just went to. And now we're getting this little bounce. We'll see what happens on Monday, guys. I do think we're going to have some continued downside in Zoom. I'm looking for more downside, honestly. Like if this is the top, if that news, I mean, look at this volume, guys. Are you kidding? Look at that volume bar on the daily chart. That's just insane. So if this does not cause some continued selling pressure, I think this is the perfect opportunity to say, this could be a short-term top, and maybe the stock pulls back in, and I plan on holding on to this position to get some more downside. Okay, so we'll see what happens on that Zoom. We'll see what happens on Monday, but I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we get some more downside on Zoom. I plan on holding this last 25% of the position. It's already a home run trade. I'm already up like $10 a share on the bulk of the position. Now I can hold on to this 25% and see how much more downside that I can get. I hope you guys learned a lot in this video. There was a lot of different lessons. There's mental lessons, there's fundamental analysis, there's a ton of technical analysis. This is a video I would highly recommend you go back and rewatch, take notes, go back, analyze those trades, make sure you understand why I did what I did, what it was that I was seeing. If you guys have any questions, you don't understand what I'm talking about, comment below. I'm here to help you guys. If you haven't done so already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit that notification bell to make sure you guys don't miss out on any more of these awesome lessons that I share with you guys for free, because I love the YouTube community so damn much, because you guys show me so much love. So that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe, be smart over the weekend, rest up, do some studying, and come back Monday ready to rock and roll, because we've been red hot in chat. I'll see you guys later. Take care.